Hello, hello. We're live Friday night, March 9th. I'm just waiting for a few more people to come in. Check, make sure y'all's. Hey, we got it good. We got it good. Alright. I got myself up on the TV. Um, so, hold on, let me mute this. So, as I was talking about in the last video, those dreams that Michael and Bridget and our kid behind the camera, and Bridget West, and Jen, Life with Jen. And I can't remember whether or not if Kim said she's had a dream or not. But those dreams that they've been having, I truly believe in them. Um, you know, it's crazy when you think about it. It is extremely crazy, but I truly believe in it. I've had it happen to myself. Um, I can have dreams one night, and I can have stuff happen to me in those dreams, or have somebody pass away, or something happen in my dream, and I can wake up the very next day, and exactly what I had in my dream will happen. And I mean, I've had it happen to me. I mean, hell, I've been friends with, well, now she's the love of my life, but I've known her for 15 years, and she'll tell you herself it's crazy. But back when she was dating somebody else, I would have a dream one night, and she would get her heart broke, and she'd get cheated on or something like that. And at the time, me and her were friends. We weren't into nothing or anything. We were friends, and I've cared a lot for her ever since I met her the first day. And she's pretty much been the love of my life ever since the very first day I met her. There was a few times we went our separate ways, and then we found each other again. But anyways, I would have a dream, and in my dream, she would get her heart broke, and she would get cheated on. And I'd wake up the next morning, and I'd call her, and I'd say, be careful. He's going to hurt you. He's going to cheat on you. And of course, she'd say, you don't know what you're talking about. She'd immediately go into her defense mode. She'd say, you don't know what you're talking about. You just don't want me to be happy and all that. Well, yes, I did want her to be happy. Sadly enough, exactly what I saw happen in my dream happened. And she would call me right after it, and she'd say, you're not going to believe this, but you were right. She hated admitting to me that I was right. But she'd say he cheated on me. And there would be a lot of times where, because she got so defensive and she didn't want to listen to me there for the longest time. She got so defensive and she wouldn't listen to me. And she would stick with these guys and she'd put up with their crap, and me being myself, I would put a stop to it. In a way, I would break them up. Because I did not want her to get hurt. I cared too much about her, and I didn't want her to get hurt. So when she got to where she wasn't listening to me, I went my own way and made sure she didn't get hurt. I'm very protective of her, and she's the love of my life now. So I have reason to be very protective of her. Her, and we've always had sort of a good connection. I mean, we can get pissed at each other, and the very next day we're fine. Hell, we can get pissed at each other, and 10 minutes later we're fine. Most of the time, it's me calling her saying I'm sorry, but you know, when even when she should apologize to me, I always feel that I need to man up and be the man that I am and say, look, I was wrong. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, and all that. Which I've always done for her. There's not a day that goes by that I won't help her out. I love her to death. Um, yeah. We are where we are today because I've always been there for her. And she knows that I've always dropped everything for her. I mean, she knows that there's not anybody else that's gonna do the stuff that I do for her, and that's why we are where we are. Um, I don't know if the lighting's any better or not. We're actually up to 7 minutes or 8 minutes rather. I'm watching the TV and it's jumping around. It could be because I'm in a rocking chair. I don't know. But yeah, guys, if you treat a woman right, you do everything for her. Pretty much, if you treat her like she's your queen or your princess, you won't have to worry about her leaving your side. You won't have to worry about her walking out of your life. And that is why me and her are still where we're at today. I've treated her like my queen. I mean, heck, when she had her apartment, you know, I'm not saying her parents are bad or anything. They're one of a kind, should we say? I mean, they've always been there for their daughter. Her dad has been there more for her than others, but we won't go there because she might get upset with me, so we're not going to go there. But, you know, her parents aren't rich, so they can't dash out millions and millions of dollars. Neither am I. But when it came down to it, and her Comcast bill needed to be paid, or she needed money to pay the bills, or any of that, I was always right there. And I tell her every day that I'm by her side, and her problems are my problems, and she doesn't have to worry about me not being by her side. And if the problem comes up, we will get through it together. You know, back in middle school, we were together, and I tell you, we was in like 7th or 8th. We got together in 6th grade. Yeah, 6th grade we got together. Back in 8th grade, our own teacher said, "Y'all need to get married. Y'all act just like you're married." Now get this. Our teacher adored me. She couldn't stand her. She really couldn't. Because my teacher thought the world of me. And back in middle school, I was a badass. I really was. I got kicked out of school like every freaking week that it was not funny. Because I was getting in fights for her. Because I didn't put up with people talking smack about my woman. I didn't put up with it. I mean, there was even a fight where the kid, sadly he's now related to me, but the kid, thought he was gonna be slick. I don't lay a hand on a woman, and that's how it should be. No man should ever lay a hand on a woman. If a man lays a hand on a woman, they are a coward. That's the best word for them. If you lay a hand on a woman and abuse that woman, you are nothing. You're not a man. You're a coward. And that's how I was raised. You don't lay your hand. You don't. A man never lays a hand on a woman. For no reason at all. There's no reason for it. But back to the story. We got into an argument. He started talking crap about my woman, saying he'd done stuff with her and all that. We're not going to go into details, but it immediately pissed me off, and I was going after him. And we ended up in the gym. He thought he was going to be slick. One of her friends at the time was a girl named Tasha. That's all I'm going to give you, is her first name. And he thought he was going to be slick and have Tasha hold me back while he practically beat the crap out of me. She was holding my hands. I couldn't, or my arms rather. I couldn't get a real swing in there. And of course, my woman is standing right over here. She knows there's no way in heck she can stop it, so she really doesn't try other than yell at us and tell us to knock it off. Which that never works. And they had planned this fight all along. Not my woman, but Tasha and him had planned this fight. And I never trusted her. I still don't trust her to this day. And I have reasons for that, but they had planned this fight, and somewhere down the line, they had decided she was going to hold my arms while he swung at me and practically assaulted me. Well, I got one shot in with my arm until my arm was grabbed. One shot I was going to get. And that's one reason I wasn't going to... There was no way in the world I was going to take a chance of me laying a hand on a woman, first of all. My woman is standing right here, right on off to the side. I wasn't going to take the chance of her getting hit. I really wasn't. And I practically got beat up because I didn't want her to get hurt. Now this kid decides he's gonna run around and say he beat the shit out of me. Guess what? My ex got the truth out of him. Because they dated and he was running his mouth to her and all. And me and her became good friends also at the time. When they got together, me and her was good friends. And I told her, I said, ask him. I said, ask him what the truth is. I said, ask him who really would have won that fight if I hadn't been held back that day. And she asked him, and he goes, at first he told her that he won the fight. Either way, it would have been him. Well, she got pissed off at him. She goes, tell me the truth. She goes, tell me the truth. What really would have happened that day if he hadn't been held back? And he practically told her, he goes, he would knock my ass out. Because, see, I wasn't going for the neck, the back of the neck. I was going for the side. Well, not really side, but I was going to knock his ass out cold. I wasn't going to hurt. I wasn't going to do anything bad, but I was going to knock his ass out cold. And once he pissed her off, she practically told him, she says, I know what would have happened that day. I wasn't there, but I know what would happen that day. And he practically told her I would have knocked his ass out cold. After he'd ran around and practically told the whole damn school that he knocked my ass out cold, that I was a chicken and all this other crap. He practically had slashed my name around the whole school. I didn't care. I really didn't. I knew the truth. My woman knew the truth. My woman saw what happened. She wasn't happy. Her friendship really got tainted after that day with that girl. I mean, they were friends, but she got to where she didn't care or trust her. So yeah. But that was one of the days. You know, there's a lot of times I was going to fight somebody for my woman. I didn't put up with people talking crap about her. I still don't put up with crap. I don't put up with people talking crap about her to this day. I mean, my ex was talking crap about her one day, and I'd never lay a hand on a woman, no matter what the circumstances is. But I did get pissed off, and I did raise my voice and get an attitude with her. And I told her, I said, look, you don't do that shit. Because, see, when she was born with a hip defect, she can't help it. She can't help the way she walks. It just happened that she was born with a hip defect. So she had to have hip surgery when she was little. She was a little kid. She lived most of her life when she was little in a wheelchair. So, first of all, she's lucky that she can walk. And my ex decided she was going to start calling her Limpy and IHOP and all this crap. And I told her, I said, look, I don't want to hear that crap. I said, you don't say crap about people who can't help it. Granted, I've always thought the world of the woman I'm in love with to this day. I've always thought the world about her. I've always been protective of her. All the guys she's ever dated while I've known her, I told them real quick, I said, you hurt her, I'm going to come after you. I said, I'm not going to put up with you hurting her. And I've made it clear. I've made it clear to her. And that's why me and her are back to where we are today. Because so many guys out there wanted to hurt her. They wanted to cheat on her. They wanted to treat her like crap. For no reason at all. And I don't believe in that. And she knows that I will always treat her like a queen. I will always put her first. She's top priority in my life. Nobody's above her. And that's how it's always going to be. There's not a day that will go by in my life that I'm not going to be by her side. That I'm not going to be there when she needs me. I mean, I was with her when her grandfather passed. And she was a miserable wreck. Her and her grandfather were close. And I wasn't lucky enough to go to the funeral because at the time, me and her parents didn't really get along. Me and her dad get along. We're not best buds. Me and her mom get along, but we're not best buds. Probably won't ever be. But I told her before she left for South Carolina, because that's where he lived. So she had to go down there for his funeral, and I told her, I said, call me anytime you need me. I will be here. I said, I don't care what time it is. I said, call me if you need to talk. I said, I'm here for you. I'm practically right by your side. And I tell you, there was nights while she was down there that we were up all night long talking on the phone. If anybody's a support person for her, it's probably me. I mean, I might not be the only person, but she knows that I'm always there for her. And most of the time, I'm the first person that knows what's wrong. I know when I don't even need her to tell me something is wrong in order to know something is wrong. It's crazy, but it's crazy, and y'all don't have to believe me. But I can be sitting there and I can almost like sense when something is wrong with her. It's crazy, but and it gets on her nerves because I know when something is wrong and she doesn't like admitting that something is wrong. And I can be sitting there and I'll be like, what's wrong? What's wrong, babe? And she'll play her little nothing. And I'll say, what's wrong? And she'll say nothing. And then I'll say, what's wrong? And I'll call her by her first and middle name. And she knows when I say her first and middle name, I mean it in business. What is wrong? And sometimes it takes 3 tries to get it out of her. Sometimes it only takes 1. I mean, she knows I'm always going to be here for her. And that's why me and her are where we are. You know, most YouTubers don't come out and say they've got a girlfriend. I'm not saying, I mean, yeah, I am saying that, but I'm not telling you who she is. I'm not telling you her name. I'm not telling you any of that because I don't want y'all blowing up her Facebook, first of all, and harassing her. And most YouTubers, believe it or not, when they announce that they've got a girlfriend, or when they say that they've got a when there's female YouTubers and they say they've got a boyfriend, believe it or not, their partners get death threats. As sad as it is, most of the time they get death threats, and that's bullcrap, but they do. Um, I wish our fans could be happy for us, but sometimes they're not. Um, yeah. Um, I don't see it. I mean, I do have sideburns and all. I was with my dad earlier, and I went in this restaurant, and I'm going in the door, and the guys that are coming out, they start pretty much saying I look like Elvis Presley. I don't see it. I don't see it one bit. I mean, the sideburns aren't even right. I mean, I think his sideburns came out and went like down like this. I've got a picture of him somewhere around here. I don't know where though. I mean, I've got an article over on the wall with him, with his it's the commercial appeal of when he died, but it's not. It doesn't have a. I mean, I'm pretty sure Elvis's sideburns went out like this. They didn't go back like this. I mean, yes, if I styled them, maybe. But I don't see it. I mean, but I started laughing because, Elvis would be up there in age. I think he's like 80 something. I haven't really kept up. But I think he's like 80 something. Let's see if Siri will work. Yeah, that's Siri for you. Um, but yeah, I think he was like 80. I think he'd be like 80 something today. I'm not positive of that. Um, let's see. Let's see if I can pull it up. Let's put y'all right there. I'm on the computer. I only use Google, so don't worry. How old would Elvis be today? If Elvis Presley was alive, he would be celebrating his 80th birthday on January 8th. So that answers that question. He would be 80 years old today. Well, back on January 8th. So, yeah. Look at this. It's actually kind of neat. Let's see if I can flip this. It shows you what he would look like if he was still alive today. Should focus. And it's not gonna focus. There it goes. So yeah, that's kind of cool. But yeah, I don't see it. I don't see the. Let's see if I can find Elvis Presley's sideburns. What did Elvis look like? I know what he looked like, but I'm just trying to show y'all. Yeah, here's one. I don't know if y'all can see it. This is actually when, not too far before he died, I believe. But look at his sideburns. Now look at my sideburns. I don't see the resemblance. But I walked into this place and these guys walking out, they start singing Elvis's songs. And the guy, as I'm walking in, he goes, thank you very much. And so I just bust out laughing. Because I'm thinking, well, if I look like Elvis Presley, we got problems, bud. Because that means the man has figured out some genius way how to become more than 40 years younger. I mean, I'm 25. He would be 80. You do the math. Let's see if I can't do math in my head. Calculator. 80 minus 25. That means he figured out some genius way to become 55 years younger. Now, I'm not saying I don't believe in reincarnation, but I ain't no Elvis Presley. I used to be able to sing when I was in elementary, but I can't sing that well nowadays. Granted, I gave up on chorus a long time ago. So yeah. Wow, there's a lot of videos or a lot of pictures on YouTube, or on, not YouTube, on Google, where they're claiming that what Elvis would look like if he was still alive today. And I will tell you all what I think about that. I don't believe Elvis is alive today because, first of all, he wouldn't have done that to his daughter. His daughter was his pride and joy. And his daughter is now running his company. His daughter and his ex-wife is now running his company, Elvis Presley Enterprises. He wouldn't have done that. He would not have put his daughter through that. I mean, his daughter was his pride and joy. I mean, I wasn't alive at the time, but just the videos that you can watch with him and his daughter Lisa, you know, you can tell the man wouldn't have done that. He wouldn't have faked his own death for that. I mean, now, I do believe Colonel Parker overworked him, but I mean, Colonel Parker was taking advantage of him. He really was. Because you can watch videos and see, and the facts and all of how much money Elvis Presley was making and then how much money Colonel Parker was making off of Elvis Presley, Elvis wasn't even making half of his own money there at the end. So, I mean, it's kind of sad. It really is when you think about it, because you have to wonder if he hadn't had so much stress on him, would he still be alive today? Would he have lived to be 80 years old? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. And it's a question that you really have to think about. Or at least I wonder. It's the same way with the King of Pop, Michael Jackson. There's people out there claiming he faked his death, and you know, there for a while I really wondered the same thing, because there was a video where somebody just like him gets out of that coroner's van, but you know, then you have to wonder, then you have to think about it, and you have to think about his daughter and his son and his other son. Those kids were his life. I mean, Paris. Just the speech that she gave at her father's funeral. Everybody was there, and everybody that was watching his funeral on live television. Everybody felt so bad for her, because you could truly tell how much Michael loved his kids. And you can truly tell how good of a father he had to have been. I mean, yes, there were so many scandals brought out on him that, my opinion, I believe was BS. I believe it was bullcrap. He was trying to give the kids at St. Jude's something that they didn't really get, but you had people that didn't like him, and they took something that he was doing good and turned it into his nightmare, his worst nightmare. So, I mean, yeah, it's really sad when you think about how, and then the propofol. It's I don't know. I wasn't there. I can't tell you the details of that whole thing. I've read about it on the internet. I've watched TV shows on it. But propofol is a very dangerous and strong drug. They only use it in operating rooms, and that's under very closely monitored. They don't leave your side. And that's why we have anesthesiologists. That is what they handle. They handle anesthesia and stuff like that. Very trained people. I mean, you don't just give anybody that kind of medicine. So, what is my opinion on that whole thing? I'm not going to say the man murdered Michael, but I don't think he was thinking, that's for sure. You know, his kids have come a long way since his death. I actually follow Paris on Instagram. I truly believe Michael would be proud of his kids. Last I checked, Michael, I think it's Michael Jr. I'm not positive, but I believe it is. He was doing movies and acting and all that. And I even saw a thing where Blanket which I believe he changed his name. But I even saw a thing where he was doing acting and all, and Paris is doing modeling and her own clothing line and all. I think Michael would be so proud of his kids. If he was still alive today, he'd be proud of them. So yeah, I mean, along with Lisa Marie Presley. Well, actually, I'm not positive if it's still Presley or not. I know she's been married several times. I don't know if she actually changed her name or not. But her birth name was Presley, so, and that's the name people know her by. Um, my Michael Elvis would have been so proud of her. He'd be so proud of what she's brought Graceland to his fans and what Graceland has became. I mean, I haven't had a chance to go see Graceland yet. Maybe one day I will. I mean, it's one of the things I want to do on my bucket list is one day go see the life of the king of Elvis, the king of rock and roll. I think it would be a really cool thing to go see. I don't think they allow cameras though, so I won't. I won't be able to do a video tour. I don't think, because I don't think they allow cameras inside the house. They might allow pictures, but I don't think they allow video. I don't know. If my channel ever takes off and I go see Graceland, maybe I can check with, the people that are in charge, and maybe I can somehow get inside footage, or who knows. It's a possibility I could. I don't know. I'd have to look into that kind of stuff if that time ever came. Right now, I couldn't afford to go to Graceland as much as I would love to go see it, and as much as I would love to go take my parents to go see Graceland in Memphis, Tennessee. I mean, Memphis, the home of the king of rock and roll. That's not where he grew up. He actually grew up in Tupelo, Mississippi. But Tupelo is where he grew up as a young boy. And then as he got older, he started his singing career and all that. And then he moved to Memphis, Tennessee. Yeah. It would definitely be an honor to go see where the King of Pop lived, or not, shit, not the King of Pop, King of Rock and Roll. I got too much stuff on my mind. My battery's going dead, so I'm gonna plug it in. Hold on. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if any of y'all really know. I mean, Lisa Marie, Elvis's daughter, actually married the King of Pop, so they do have a connection, other than just being kings. Yeah, I mean, and Elvis didn't actually like being called the king of rock and roll. He was very into gospel, and at one of his concerts, a female in the audience said, Elvis, you're the king." And Elvis said, "No, honey, I'm not the king." And he pointed up to the sky, as I myself call heaven. I mean, I believe in it. I believe there's a heaven somewhere. I look up into the sky, and that's where I believe it is. I don't know, because I've never been on that side. Kind of hope I don't have to be on that side until my time comes. Nobody really knows when that time is, though. I mean, when the good Lord decides that it's your time, it's your time. He's the only one that can decide it, so. Yeah. And yeah, I don't really go to church or anything, but I do believe that there is a God. I'm not gonna try to get into a whole spiritual thing, because then I get negative comments and all. But yeah, I do believe that there is a God. I do believe that there is a heaven. I mean, my uncle that passed away back in last May. I think it was May. It might have been June. It was around the end of May, I think. He believed there was a God, but he didn't believe that he was good enough. And that was one of the things there at the end, that he had a really hard time. He wanted to go home where his loved ones are and all. And I believe he is there on the other side in heaven, waiting on all of us for one day when we meet again. We sadly miss him, and he was part of our family, so. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what everybody else believes, but I do know I believe that I do believe there is a God. I believe it is, my belief, it is Jesus. And I do believe that there is a heaven. And I haven't really read the Bible. I mean, I might have when I was little. I can't remember back then. But I do believe that, and I believe in the Bible it states that Jesus forgives. No matter what you do, he forgives you. But yeah, and I believe that he doesn't look at the bad at people. I mean, unless you've done something very serious like murdered somebody or any of that, then I don't know his views on that. I'm not him, so I can't tell you his views on that. But I do believe he forgives you no matter what you've done. And yeah. But let's see how many. We've been live for 48 minutes. So I'm gonna call it a night. I might go live again later on. I don't know. But for now, I'm gonna call it a night. Until next video or next live stream, I'll catch you later. See ya.